All right. Pardon for a short break. No, patalastas. Anyways, let's continue, no? So again, we ended up on eustress and de-stress, no? So eustress is a beneficial stress that can be in a form of physical, psychological, and biological stimuli. So always remember this too, no, eustress and distress. And of course, next one is your, sige, let's answer this one, or you can identify in the comment section. Is this an example, no? For your first picture, is this an example of eustress or distress? Academic stress, yan. Sige nga. Good stress ba yan or difficult stress that you cannot or it is difficult to cope up with? Sige nga, that's the first picture. Now, this one, a person that is trying to decide whether her creative side or dun sa kanyang academical, no, critical thinking, analytical thinking skills side, no, is that a eustress or is that a distress? Distress or eustress? All right, next picture. This one, trying to please the people around you. Yan, no? Pinaka-common sa inyong mga estudyante ngayon, yung pressure, no, sa inyong mga nakapalibot, no? Is it eustress or distress? Yan. And of course, last picture, relational stress, no? Is that a kind of stress that can be beneficial or is that a stress that is difficult or unbearable to cope up? Sige nga. Make use of the comment section. Ano po? To answer. So once again, unang picture natin, is this a good stress or hindi magandang stress? Yan. Eustress or distress? First picture, second picture, third picture, and last picture. Now, let's go on to the stressors. Ma'am, ano po bang ibig sabihin ng stressors, no? So, stressors is actually any type of events that compels a person to adjust or change. So, if a certain stress made you change, no, or adjust, that is already your stressor. So I opted to choose a couple to give you an example of stressors. So first and foremost is catastrophic events and life-threatening experiences. So ito yung mga abrupt, unforeseen, hindi natin controllable or hindi natin nakokontrol rather na experiences or traumas in life, such as natural calamities, military combats, terrorist attacks, accidents, and physical and sexual abuses is also catastrophic event and life-threatening experience. So that is one type of stressor. Next one, another example of a stressor is life changes and strains. So here in the picture, you can see a certificate of divorce. Dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, hindi pa evident yung divorce, pero annulment meron na, ano. So dito sa life changes and strains, it includes the separation of our parents, of course, illness in the family, change of workplace, transfer of domicile, and other circumstances that demands us, no, or that demands people to adjust. So yan si life changes and strains. Another good example of this one is yung chronic problems. So kapag kasi sinabi natin chronic problems, hindi ito yung um problema mo sa katawan mo, ano po. But chronic problems per se, ito yung it exist for a long period of time, which includes the circumstances such as suffering from a serious illness, isa na yon, no? But dito nakapaloob din yung irresponsible na kapitbahay, yung mga marites, marisol, lahat na lang pwede mong tawagin na type ng kapitbahay, no? Diyan din sila nakapaloob, of course. And another one is the failure to acquire lucrative or high income job is also a chronic problem. So, yaan yung pangatlo. And of course, last, no, huli na pwede nating ilagay na stressor is actually our everyday hassles. So, meaning yung irritations, our pressures, annoyance in certain things that may not be significant stressors by themselves but whose cumulative effect can be significant. Yung paulit-ulit na nangyayari, paulit-ulit na traffic, no? Example na lang yan, traffic congestion, traffic jam, no, waiting in a long line to just to get in a jeep para lang makauwi or para makapasok sa work, no? Or just a bad day when everything goes wrong ay sinamahan pa ulit ng isa pang hindi magandang pangyayari, no? Na late ka na nga, nasiraan ka pa ng sasakyan or ng motor, no? O di naman kaya may huli, may LTO, ganyan, no? That is included in the everyday hassles. So, yun po yung few examples of our stressors. Next one is stress tolerance. What is stress tolerance? It refers to an ability of one individual to endure stress. An individual's tolerance, no, yung tolerance natin bilang mga tao is always dependent on our psychological and physiological constitutions. Meaning, tayo ay nagre-react ng iba't ibang way, no, sa iba't ibang paraan tayo nakakapag-cope up or or we are able to endure stress in different ways since hindi naman tayo iisang tao, iba't ibang tao tayo, ano po. So one's perception of stress is subjective, no? Just like a eustress for someone could be a distress to another one, no? Maybe yung pagbabasa ko ng libro, no, ay eustress para sa akin to gain more knowledge, but for you guys, it is a distress kasi ayaw nyo nang magbasa. Like, ganun siya, no? Kung ano yung eustress sa akin, possible na distress siya sa inyo. Yung mga distress para sa inyo, possible, or yung mga eustress para sa inyo, possible na distress siya sa akin. Basta, that's how it goes. Ano po? So, the reality is that ones cannot really eliminate stress. It is bound to happen. It will always happen no matter what we, uh, kahit ilang beses natin siya iwasan, andyan pa rin siya. So, ang mangyayari na lang dyan is kung paano natin i-handle yung stress, how will we manage our stresses. So, ganun na lang po ang mangyayari. Anyways, there is two types, no, or signs of and symptoms of poorly managed stress. So the first one is physical symptoms and the next one is emotional behavioral symptoms. Excuse me po. All right, let me just explain to you this one. Anong difference nila? What comes into both of these worlds? Ano? Or evident ba 'to na nangyayari sa atin, 'no? So, in here, sa ating physical base, 'no, or symptoms, am I right? Yes po. Okay, 'no? When we say physical symptoms, no, it is characterized by one's inability to sleep, no? Fatigue, your headache, your cramps, unpleasant aura, gastrointestinal problems, no? So the stress also causes aging and malignant diseases like cancer. So that is the physical symptoms of poorly managed stress. So wag niyong binabasta-basta na, ay, stress lang yan, sige, isang tabi natin. No, it can cause you malignant diseases like cancer. All right? So always remember that one. And of course, the emotional and behavioral symptoms, no? Let's go, or let me just read to you the definition of this one. Emotional and behavioral symptoms includes lack of concentration, irritation, nervousness, panic, lack of appetite in food, or too much intake of food, low level of enthusiasm and desire, and of course, mood swings. So some people who are unable to properly manage stress, no, are always vulnerable to unhealthy habits like drug addiction, alcoholism, cigarette smoking, poor diet. No, when these unhealthy habits persist, those people are led to undesirable behaviors. But your physical frames does not define if you are stressed or not, because some of you guys just have hormonal imbalances, just like for mom Faith, no, I have PCOS. No, so it is an imbalance on my hormones, so hindi siya effect ng emotional and behavioral symptoms of stress. So we have different factors as to why it leads, or why do we have this certain distinctions. So you always have to understand, you always have to check for yourself, dahil wala nang mag-check na iba sa'yo, kundi sarili mo na lang din. So if no one checks you out, check yourself out, of course, no? So of course, let's go on to our next slide, which is coping with stress. Now, coping with stress. Ano bang ibig sabihin yan, ma'am? Ano bang nakapaloob dyan, no? So, we as a person, of course, we have different types of stress. We have different coping skills, no? Whether we've been dumped by our date or you've had a rough day in school, no? Having healthy coping skills can be a key to getting through tough times. So, coping skills help us tolerate, minimize, and of course, deal with stressful situations in life. So, coping skills are actually tactics that we use to deal with stressful situations, how you would manage our stress well, and of course, how can we help ourselves feel better physically, psychologically, and the impact of our ability to perform in our best manner. But of course, not all coping skills are created equal, no? Sometimes it's tempting to engage in strategies that will actually give quick relief but might create a bigger problem for you down the road, no? So always be careful, no? It is important to establish a healthy coping skills that will help us reduce our emotional distress or rid ourselves of the stressful situations that we face. So, a great example of healthy coping skills would be establish and maintaining your boundaries, practice relaxation strategies, yung sinasabi namin lagi sa inyo na breathe in, breathe out. Yung mga ganyan, no? And of course, getting a regular physical activity, making to-do list is also a great example of healthy coping skills. Setting your goals, no? How you would view yourself in the future, no? Manifesting, creating memories is also a healthy coping skills. So, marami-rami, no? Tayong pwedeng gawin na i-adapt na strategies for us to be okay. But if you are not okay, it's also okay. It's okay not to be okay. Ano po? And let me just go on to this one, emotion focused coping skills. And problem-focused coping skills. So, ano bang pinagkaiba nitong dalawa? Ano? So, problem-based coping skills is helpful when you need to change your situations. Perhaps by removing a stressful thing from your life, just like for example, if you are in unhealthy relationship, your anxiety and sadness might be best resolved by ending the relationship, no? If feeling mo hindi na siya karapat dapat para sa iyo because he is not making or he is not supporting you to grow, hindi na siya nandyan para sa iyo when you are trying to be mature, when you are trying to tell yourselves to grow, no? You can always tell or end something. So, yung lagi kong sinasabi sa mga estudyante ko, do not be or do not tolerate someone that treats you bare minimum. Ah? Alright. Always make sure that a guy would treat you like a princess. And of course, para sa mga lalaki, no, do not let a girl na hindi kayo trinitreat as prince or king. No? So, always make sure that you are not treated like the bare minimum. So, yun po si problem-based coping. Sa emotion-based coping naman, no? So, emotion-based coping is helpful when we need to take care of our feelings, when we either don't want to change our situation, or when circumstances are out of control, no? Let's say, for example, if we are grieving the loss of a loved one, no, it be important to take care of our feelings in a healthy way, since we can't change any circumstances that had happened already. So these are a great examples of emotion focused coping skills. No, you can exercise, you can take a bath, give yourself a pep talk, meditate, and during doon sa problem focused coping skills, you can work on managing your time, ask for support, establish healthy boundaries, and create a to-do list. So, yan yung mga bagay na pwede nating gawin, no, to help us, of course. And next one would be self-care. So, kapag sinabi nating self-care, no, it refers to all the activities that a person does to maintain and improve his or her physical, psychological, emotional, social, and spiritual well-being. So, yung limang nabanggit natin, no, ay yaan na rin po ang types ng self-care. So, let me just adjust para makita nyo ng buo since nakakat siya. Alright, that one. Alright, again, no? Self-care refers to all activities that a person does to maintain and improve his or her physical, psychological, or mental, no? So, yan yung tinatawag nila. Emotional, social, and spiritual well-being. Now, ano po ba yung pinagkaiba-iba niyan, no? So, physical self-care includes all the activities that one does to maintain and improve his or her physical well-being, like constantly sleeping for at least 8 hours and having a proper diet, taking vitamins, exercising, no? So, yan yung mga self-care under the physical one. Emotional, self-care includes all the activities that one does to cope with stress and deal with grief. While in social self-care, it includes all the activities that one does to connect with people valuable rather to him or her. It means spending time and having a great time with other people, including family, friends, neighbors, schoolmates, professional organizations, your boyfriend, your girlfriends, your loved ones, no, your relatives, each and every one of them, and many more, of course. So, yun yung social self-care. While in mental rather or psychological self-care, it includes all the activities that you do to deal or resolve your mental health issues, address both positive and negative emotions, and learn to deal with negative self-talk or self-criticism. So anything that pertains to helping your psychological needs is psychological self-care already. So when you felt like you're tired, you give yourself relaxation. That's already a part of mental self-care or psychological self-care. If someone gives you a hard time and you try to cut them off, that's also giving them boundaries, is also trying to tell yourself or trying to be kind to yourself. Will also fall on the psychological self-care as well. And of course, lastly, spiritual self-care. So in here, it includes all the activities one does to strengthen one's relationship with his or her beliefs, of course. It includes meditation, contemplation about one's purpose of existence according to your faith. So laging nakabase yan sa kung ano ang pinaniniwalaan mo. Alright? Next one would be benefits of self-care. Ano namang ibig sabihin niyang mga yan, ma'am? No? So, first and foremost, of course, enhance productivity. When you, being a person, distance yourself, no, in vices like drinking, liquor, smoking, gambling, no, whatever it is, and you prioritize your goal and you try to improve your physical well-being, is already an enhanced productivity. And of course, improve vitality or physical care activities, no? Everything, right food, right drink, enough water, sleep, right sleep, no? Your circadian rhythm, your body clock, your resistance to diseases, your unhealthy habits are cut off, no? That is improve vitality. Enhance self-esteem, no? Avoid, ito ata yung feeling ko pinaka-importanting i-remind ko sa inyo, that no matter what the world will throw at you, you have to enhance your self-esteem. So avoid self-berating. Yan ata yung pinaka-importante. Negative self-talk is damaging to how you perceive yourself, and it will lead you to have anxiety and stress. And it is quite important for you to discover and accept who you really are and become proud of yourself, no? So walang ibang taong magsasabi sa na proud siya sa no? Not unless it is your parents, not unless it is your friend, your relatives. Pero pinaka-priority nyo ang sarili nyo, na pagkatiwalaan nyo man lang yung sarili nyo. Masabihan nyo yung sarili nyo na, ay, proud ako sa kung anong nakamit mo at nakuha mo ngayon. I am very proud of you. So, ang pinakaunang taong maniniwala sa'yo ay ikaw rin lang. Alright? And of course, increase self-knowledge, meaning after a person discovers and accepts who he is or she is, it is important for you to know what you want, what you love to do, no? For you to be able to live your life to the fullest. And for you to have that certain distinction of what your purpose in life really is. So always increase your self knowledge. And lastly, mindfulness and compassion. Knowing and being good to oneself esteem and to yourself from the goodness and compassion one directs toward other people. It will always boil down on how you treat yourself and how will you become compassionate to the people around you. Dahil sinasabi nga nila lagi, what you say, what you ask, what you let them feel, ay babalik lang din lahat sa'yo. So kung ano yung gusto mong maramdaman, iparamdam mo sa ibang tao. Pero kung naramdaman mong may ginawa silang masama sa'yo, huwag mong ibalik. Let them be. dahil hindi natutulog si Lord, no? Hayaan mo lang silang magkasala. Basta ikaw, you are happy, you are doing what you love, you are being kind, you are compassionate, and you try to be the best version of yourself without hurting anyone and without anyone being pulled down. Okay po? All right. Next one would be self-compassion. So kapag sinabi nating self-compassion, it is defined as showing compassion to oneself. It involves being open to and moved by one's own suffering, expressing care and kindness toward yourself, taking understanding and non-judgmental attitude toward someone's inadequacies and failures, and recognizing that one's own experience is a part of the common human experience. So, may mga tao kasi na they would perceive themselves as stupid or fool because of certain actions or decisions that they have made in the past. But this act of self recrimination ruins your self esteem. And it is actually a sign of lack of self care. Wala kang respeto sa sarili mo. But you always have to understand that we humans are imperfect beings. Hindi tayo perfecto. Tao lang tayo nagkakamali. People should learn to forgive not only the people around them, but to forgive themselves, and should positively take challenges in life as well as the wrong choices and decisions that we make, and with the hope of improving ourselves to not commit the same mistakes that we did twice. Tama na yung dalawang beses kang nagkamali. Yung pumangatlo ka, yung pumang-apat ka, sige, pwede pa. But always remind yourself to not condemn yourself, but always remind yourself that these certain decisions that you made from the past will give you the opportunity and will pave way for you or give you the avenue to grow more maturely for yourself. So, lagi niyong tatandaan, no? Be self-compassionate to yourself as well. So, hindi lang sa ibang tao, dapat kayo maging compassionate. Dapat kailangan pati rin sa inyong sarili. Alright? So, this one, no? Sabi niya dito, be kind to yourself. No? So, by Kristen Neff. So, pinakaunang-una dyan kasi is self-kindness, no? So, the three components of self-compassion is self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. So, pag sinabi nating self-kindness, it means not being physically and verbally harsh to yourself. Kapag kasi sinabi nating self-kindness, madalas kasi sa ating mga tao, we do the self-beratement. We abuse ourselves. It involves the act where we blame ourselves on the decisions and the actions that we did. It also includes self-harm, no? We try to physically hurt ourselves, no, damaging our physical and psychological being as an individual. But itong tatlong components ng self-compassion would actually remind us to become kind, not only to the people around us, but to ourselves as well. So, self-kindness means not being physical and verbally harsh to yourself. Okay? And next one, recognize our common humanity. Common humanity means acceptance that one is an imperfect being, one makes mistakes along with everyone else, and one does not always get what he or she wants. All right? So always remember that one. Common humanity means acceptance that one is an imperfect being, one makes mistakes along with everyone else, and one does not always get what he or she wants. And of course, lastly, mindfulness. It is the practice of being fully present in the moment One has to turn toward his or her painful thoughts and emotions in order to embrace himself or herself with compassion. This module had been very difficult to start and to end. Not because it's easy to discuss, but because I know some of you guys, or almost every one of you, needs to be reminded that they have to be kind to themselves. Hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon may magre-remind sa inyo na kailangan maging mabait ka sa sarili mo. Kailangan mahalin mo yung sarili mo. Kailangan maging kind ka, kailangan maging understanding ka, hindi lang sa mga taong nakapalibot sa'yo, pero para sa'yo na rin mismo. And I know a lot of times mahirap intindihin yung sarili mo. But you always have to remind yourself that in time, you will learn how to love yourself even more. You will learn how to prioritize yourself. Hindi na lang lagi yung ibang tao ang ipa-prioritize mo. Pero I hope this module finds you well, and I hope you will understand that loving yourself will always have to be the first one, because you cannot give anything to the person or to the people around you kung wala ka pa nun. Love yourself first in order for you to love everyone else that is around you even more. Again, this is not a signing off gesture. I still hope I see you guys in our common ground. And always remember that you are all worth fighting for. And I hope you have learned a lot of lessons in our UTS. Always remember, you are all worth fighting for. Keep smiling, buhon padayon, and God bless everyone.